I heard about this guy, and because I've heard about this island before. It's an island that I think we've reacted to this island before. Back when the freaking there was like this pastor that tried to like go and convert this like. Basically, there's like this island, right, where that has a tribe that effectively has not made contact with the outside world. And they're incredibly violent to anyone that enters their island, because they're incredibly protective of themselves and very defensive of anybody else. So, like, if they see a boat, if they see people, if they see whatever, it's like hostile on contact. Like, we see a person, we're shooting arrows and bows and arrows at you. You leave us gifts on the beach, we're gonna bury the gifts in the sand. Like, that's their, like, they are a no, what would you say? Like, no leniency? No exceptions to the rule? Whatever. Point being, like, the only thing that we have ever successfully seen them accept as a gift is, like, coconuts. And, so of course this, like, priest, this pastor, decides, even though it's illegal and I'm not supposed to, I'm not allowed, I'm gonna go over there and try to convert everybody to Christianity. And then he got freaking, like, completely annihilated by a freaking rain of arrows. Just freaking arrowed the crap. Like, he was annihilated. He was done. It was over. Like, it did. Like, because, of course he did. Like, there is no tribe. Like, they are a tribe of people who do not want anybody coming on their island. You're gonna get shot with an arrow. Like, what do you mean? I get like, you might have the most noble of intentions. You might be the most noblest of peoples. But some people, like, if people don't want to be helped, don't help them. You know what I'm saying? Like you can lead a horse to water, so to speak, and you can't make them drink. So even if you think you're helping them, leave them alone. Let them do the thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's no point. There's no, like, you're just putting yourself in danger. You're putting them in danger because you could potentially bring new diseases and viruses to the island. Overall, it's just not a good idea to touch this island. Leave it the hell alone. And the authorities are pretty strict about that too. But this guy, apparently, don't know his name, decided, hey, I should make a YouTube career by going to this freaking island and hopefully not dying. Which he luckily did. But I don't mean he's not gonna face consequences. Let's get into it.
He's been arrested and is facing 5 years in prison after disturbing a restricted island and violating international law, all to film content and leave this ancient remote tribe a can of Coke. Ladies and gentlemen, we might have a new contender for the Hall of Fame of complete morons.
An American tourist has been arrested for allegedly traveling to a restricted reserve on a remote island and leaving behind a can of Coke as an offering for the world's most isolated tribe to try.
Which is, like, such a stupid gift too. Think about, like, does that place look like it's gonna sustain an ice cold Coca-Cola? It's gonna be hot, bro. It's gonna be warm, and nobody likes a warm Coke. That's stupid. You could have thought of a better gift.
Viktorovich Polyakov was arrested in India's Andaman and Nicobar Islands after he allegedly visited a prohibited tribal reserve on North Sentinel Island without authorization.
So apparently we're doing this for content now. Well, that's a nightmare of an island that has for some reason attracted the wildest form of unwanted tourism, now including Mikhailo Polyakov, a 24-year-old American YouTuber known for thrill-seeking adventure vlogs and now for violating international law. He goes by the Neo-Orientalist on YouTube and has a few thousand subscribers, and is currently making headlines for illegally landing on the North Sentinel Island, home to the
Admittedly, I had never really heard about this guy until this whole situation. Oh, damn, I'm sorry, the volume's like, why the frick is that happening?
Famously uncontacted.
Okay, it's fine. For the memes, it was like, who cares, right? But for this, like, what the frick, YouTube? Why is this my new default?
His tribe. You know, the people who've made it extremely clear that they want nothing to do with the outside world. Like, arrow to the head, level of clear.
Tucked away in the picturesque waters of the Bay of Bengal exists a tiny...
We're gonna react to the Superman trailer later. I saw it during the ads for the freaking Minecraft movie.
Any island that has captured imaginations for centuries. But its beauty as a tropical paradise is not what has garnered attention. Rather, it is the often violent, uncontacted tribe that calls the island home. For most, this island is a window into the past and an opportunity to understand how ancient people lived. But for some, this island has become their final resting place.
Well, what did Polyakov actually do? He showed up to Point Blair, the capital of the
And that
Andaman.
being said, I'm not trying to pretend like these like this tribe is like, oh, they're such an innocent tribe. No, they're a tribe. You know, you come onto their island, they're gonna murder you. It's just like what I'm getting at is just like why why poke a nest? It's like Beehive from One Piece, the pirate island. Like, who the hell would go poke a beehive? You get what I'm saying? Like, it's so stupid. Leave it the hell alone.
Of the
There is literally
Nicobar
zero benefit that both the natives, the tribe, like, and us can gain from this. The only people that think they can gain anything from this are people who think they can gain clout and internet fame from it.
Islands with the camera, an inflatable boat, and apparently zero regard for history or laws. On March 29th, he set off solo on his boat, which, by the way, I guess is the YouTube version of Hold My Beer. After a 9-hour journey, he reached the northeastern shore of the North Sentinel Island, ready to go full Columbus, but instead of smallpox and holy crosses, he brought a Diet Coke and a coconut. Not even a full meal. Just a weird snack combo and a whistle. Come on, dude.
And you know what's weird? Of course, we should all be happy. And frankly, I am happy that this guy did not get endgamed at that island. But you have to think about it, like that pastor, that like priest that went over there to freaking like try to convert them. This dude spent months like trying to learn different cultures, languages, like preparing. He took survival classes. Bro was as prepared as you could possibly be for this trip, and he didn't make it back, you get me?
And with this whistle, he tried to get the tribe's attention, and obviously blowing a whistle at an uncontacted tribe, I guess
what I'm trying to say here is, bro got lucky. Real lucky, I feel like.
that's how you get a collaboration invite.
Polyakov spent roughly an hour blowing a whistle from his inflatable boat in hopes of drawing attention to himself, but received no response. He landed on the island for roughly 5 minutes, during which he collected samples, recorded a video, and left behind a can of soda and a coconut.
I genuinely want to know. What freaking samples? It's freaking dirt, bro. It's sand. It's a beach. It's an island. Just look at any of the other islands around the area. You're gonna see it, but what you mean?
Offerings for the Sentinelese tribe.
I feel like the ingredients of a Diet
Don't
Coke.
get me wrong though, like obviously there could be like a new species of animal, there could be a new species of plant, tree. You know, a lot of these islands can have entirely unique ecological biomes that can share similarities from back when the islands may or may not have been like one connected continent, so to speak.
Coke would probably burn a hole in the
I'm
tribe's
just
stomach.
wondering what kind
man.
of
Like,
samples he
let's
collected.
just
I kind of want to know.
let's
like,
chill here.
Did he actually get anything cool, like some snails, like something new, like the unfounded, or did he just freaking grab dirt and sand?
Let's not leave that for them. But thankfully, he didn't make contact. For his own sake, but also he did collect some sand, film on the beach, and then I guess peaced out like it was some regular beach
He
day.
got freaking
Mission
sand. Who cares?
Trespass on Sacred Land is complete. But here's the plot twist. Back on
I don't care how sacred, how illegal, how free. Like it's kind of like when people, like it's freaking sand, bro. Like what the.
the mainland, some local fishermen saw what he was up to and
Like, that's
reported
the
him.
sample you
Polyakov was
take?
arrested on March 31st, now faces multiple charges, including violation under India's Foreigners Act and tribal protection laws. If convicted, he's looking at up to 5 years in Indian prison, which is a pretty steep price for a simple vlog title. Why are some influencers committing crimes in countries where you would never ever want to go to prison at?
Honestly, it's I can probably in my humble monkey opinion and broken down as simply as possible. I think it's genuinely because a lot of these like content creators get inspired by other nuisance streamers, and it sort of follows this ideal of like, or this mentality of like, I'm untouchable in other countries because the worst that could happen is that they're gonna kick me out and send me back to my country. You get what I'm saying? I think that's pretty much like their mentality,
I mean,
like the
we
long
just
and the short of
covered
it. I
the
don't think there's anything
Why
that goes
would you
beyond that.
ever break laws in countries that have prisons that look like this? But also, honestly, the amount of time sounds a little short for what he actually did. Because let's be real, what he did wasn't brave. This is just incredibly reckless. And
You're not wrong, but I think all he I was gonna say, I think 5 years because he only really put himself in danger. But it's not true either. Again, that tribe could have picked if he had like the flu, if he was sick, he absolutely could have freaking passed that along and potentially wiped out that entire freaking like people.
Indigenous groups, legal experts, and common sense all agree that you don't mess with the Sentinelese. Not because they're scary, well they are as well, but because we are. We carry diseases that they've never been exposed to. Contact could wipe them out, like it did so many other tribes throughout history. But you know, for the sake of this video, let's put all the dangers to the tribe aside. Let's put all the international law to the side. Let's just say, this is an extremely stupid move considering how multiple journalists, missionaries, and many more have died for attempting to do this exact thing. So for those who don't know, let me break down what this island is and why this tribe has a history of people needing to stay far away from it. All right, picture this.
I'm glad he mentioned the missionary too, because it was like the wildest story at the time. But I wonder if he's gonna break it down. It seems like he is.
A beautiful tropical island straight out of a travel brochure. White sand, blue water, lush jungle, and if you step foot on it, you might get hit with an arrow.
Did you guys know that white sand is fish poop?
All right, picture this. A beautiful tropical island straight out of a travel brochure. White sand, blue water.
You all want me to ruin beaches for you? Not joking.
You need to hear this if you're a beach lover. The secret behind white sand beaches.
I'm sorry, I freaking hate AI generated voices.
If you're the type of person who enjoys the beach, I'm gonna ruin that for you. This is a parrotfish. It's basically an 80-pound armored fish with a beak, like a bird. That's why it's called a parrot.
Let's get him.
As sand.
Look.
They poop sand. A lot of sand too. One parrotfish can expel a lot of this can't be digested.
And stuff.
So most of it just gets pooped out as sand. They poop sand. A lot of sand too. One parrotfish can expel 2,000 pounds of sand per year. Scientists...
It's all fish poop. You're standing on fish poop. You eat bee vomit and you stand on fish poop and you like stick your hands and your fingies in it and your toes. Just letting you know.
Water, lush jungle, and if you step foot on it, you might get hit with an arrow.
Hey, you. You're that IRL streamer, aren't you?
Yeah,
I
Vitaly.
used to do content like you until I took a 2.5 meter long arrow to the knee.
This is
Meter-long
exactly
arrow
where
to
all
the
those
knee.
Skyrim guards went. So, welcome to North Sentinel Island, where the local vibe is no visitors ever. It's home to the Sentinelese, possibly the last uncontacted tribe on Earth, and when I say uncontacted, I
Which is honestly kind of cool though. Like if I was there, I'm not like definitely don't do this, right? It's stupid. But like if I was to be stupid and I decided that this is happening one way or another, yeah, you know how it is. At that point, like why don't you just like get like you gotta take a sample, get one of their like you saw how they have like those cool little daggers? That was sick. Like get you a dagger.
mean, they've been ghosting humanity for thousands
You know what I
of
mean?
years.
Like I guess I'm
These
cool.
people are the real-life version of hardcore Minecraft. They're like that tribal YouTube channel that went like super viral for building crazy stuff with mud, but minus the
Yeah, they had like excavators and a bunch of machinery.
excavators, because you know they were also exposed for that. So while neighboring islands have been colonized, developed, and turned into places where you can probably get Wi-Fi,
They basically just like preyed upon the Americans that still think the rest of the world is nothing but mud huts and shit. It's like freaking can grow up.
overpriced smoothie, North Sentinel Island have stayed
we have the
essentially
internet now.
stuck
You
in
can just look
time
up-
on purpose. They
It's
basically
kind of like there's like this one really beautiful African woman with just the most amazing afro ever, and she lives in Africa, and like she just posted videos of her like doing stuff every day, like just doing stuff like whatever the freak it is. Sometimes she's making food. Sometimes she's like dyeing some like fabric to make like really cool like new dress, stuff like that. Sometimes she's just like brooming and like showing off the like the different like because they have like almost entirely straw made brooms, very similar to Mexican brooms, where it's like all like but Mexicans we use like a wooden stick and then like attach a straw head to it, whereas they have a damn near fully like straw made broom. Anyway, point is, she just basically was explaining, like, yeah, no, this is, like, we prefer this kind of broom, it's a little bit easier, it's more, like, at least, like, for the type of dirt and stuff we get into our houses here, like, it's just a little bit more sturdy for that. And I'm like, oh, that's freaking sick, you get me? So it's kind of like, I feel like the internet has kind of like helped bridge that gap so that less people are kind of like, what? You're telling me you're not living in a mud hut with nothing but like friggin' like coconuts for like bras? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I feel like a lot of people woke up when a lot of this like sort of like worldly survivor, look at this third world country, look at what we can do there kind of stuff started breaking out, and people started being like, what do you mean? Like, I'm from there. Like, we've been doing this for a minute. Like, what? We have normal places.
They don't want
it's like when people think of Mexico, they don't think of Mexico City. You know what I'm saying? They don't think about like, this looks exactly like LA. Like, I'm not even joking. You go to like actual like central like Mexico, you really couldn't like tell the difference at a certain point.
Any technology. No, thank you. The first time they were caught on camera, you could literally
really
see them
like,
try to put
asking me
arrows through the
questions
people
like,
filming.
why'd you do it out there without AC or like lights? It's like, brother, it's not that like even in, like what? I went
This
to go
tribe
visit
believes in total
like a ranch. Don't get me wrong.
It will not tolerate restraint.
If y'all know, it's like it's a pretty big area, so good luck figuring out, right? But it's like in the area of Aguascalientes, like so it's pretty out there, but it's like not like it's a freaking
As
like.
is obvious in the footage, the tribe had no
You know what I
interest
mean?
in making friends and rather buried half of the gifts they'd been given before
Anyway, my point is, I'm glad that the internet has like helped with a lot of that. Is what I'm trying to get at.
shooting arrows
Because
toward
I
the
remember
film
that
crew.
all that
A member
freaking
of our
the
film unit was
excavation
wounded
crews
by
and all
one of
that
the
on
many
the.
arrows, each 2.5 meters long.
So either Michaela
Oh, yeah,
saw
one of their
this,
crew
did his
got shot,
research
too. I forgot about
beforehand, and
that.
said, screw it, a 2.5
That's
meter
not the
arrow, that
missionary,
ain't
by the
that
way.
bad.
That's someone else. That's
Or
a journalist.
he didn't prepare for this trip at all. But I have a feeling he kind of did because he showed up with a coconut. And we will learn later on that the only contact that humans have had that has been a positive contact with this island has been because they were bribing them with coconuts. But if it was up to me, one simple Google search would that would make my mind up. I wouldn't go. Took me 15 seconds to realize I would never want to go to that island.
So you hear the story. These guys murder everybody that lands on this beach, except for one time they bribed them with a bunch of coconuts. And they were able to have a semi non-violent like contact. So your plan is to bring one coconut? Like like you wouldn't like I feel like I'd fill a boat up just to like, guys, trust me, listen. Y'all let me go and all these coconuts you want.
But I've also realized that there's a very big difference in how normal people operate and think compared to the people that I normally cover here on this channel. There's a very big difference. Well, the first real sighting of this island came in 1771 when a British ship spotted flickers of fire on shore, probably cooking dinner or prepping the arrows. Hard to say. But things got real in the 1890s when an escaped prisoner washed up on the island. Search parties went to look for him and they found him full of arrows. Definitely not a warm welcome. That's more like get off my lawn, but in a really intense way. Fast.
Imagine breaking out of prison, washing up on the shore of an island. You think you're finally free, and the only people on this island are a tribe of people that just instantly pepper you with arrows. Damn. Like, they're not even cannibals or nothing. They just took you out because they were like, nah, he's probably a threat.
Fast forward to the
Probably a
1960s,
threat. Get
Indian
rid of 'em.
anthropologists decided to go play National Geographic and roll up with boats full of gifts, coconuts, metal tools, plastic stuff.
They got really tough border laws over there.
Basically just this weird early version of an Amazon delivery. First visit, nobody home. The tribe, I guess, just dipped into the jungle, left their huts, fires, and food behind like you weren't invited.
Yeah, that sounds to me like they were scared. And they were just sort of like, you know what? We could dip into the jungle and hide out, let them peruse as much as they can, they'll move on, and then we could, like, you know, come back to our huts and houses when the area is clear. It makes me wonder if at some other point in time, they weren't visited or raided by other people too, you know what I'm saying?
But then came this rare moment of success in the 90s, where an anthropologist named Madhumala Chattopadhyay
I think he's a missionary.
An anthropologist named joined the crew. First woman to try, by the way, and the team floated coconuts
I thought that was the freaking missionary guy. I remember the missionary guy had a cool looking name, cool sounding name.
And the Sentinelese actually came out to grab them. I mean, one guy even checked out the boat like he was browsing a used car lot. So that was cool because it was calm, peaceful, no one got stabbed. Great. But the next visit, things escalated. Because since 1996, it's been straight up illegal to go anywhere near this North Sentinel Island. The law says don't go within 3 nautical miles unless you're trying to get featured in some news headline saying tourist impaled by dozens of arrows on this remote island. And that's...
Which is pretty funny, because it's kind of like one of those situations where people, like, someone's like, hey, don't do that. And then he's just like, why? Make me stop doing it. It's just like, brother, do whatever the hell you want. I'm telling you, because you're gonna die if you keep doing it. But what freaking ever, I guess. Do you?
That's exactly what happened to some fishermen.
2 men aged 48 and 52 were fishing for mud crabs near the island. However, the pair got so drunk
yeah, it's the drunk guys.
that while sleeping, the anchor of the boat, which was a rock tied to a rope, fell apart and drifted the men toward North Sentinel.
I didn't know their anchor was a rock. It was an actual rock?
Following morning, fellow fishermen said they tried
Nah, son, you gotta get like multiple
to shout at the men and warn them that they were in danger. However, they did not respond. They were probably drunk, and the boat drifted into the shallows where they were attacked and killed.
Yeah, that's a rough fishing spot. You go out to fish and get a little drunk, and you end up in the worst possible spot ever. But recently, this also happened to
Yeah, you literally just wash up on a PvP server, bro, and their tribe is like, you know, it's like a Rust server, and their tribe is already like, they got a whole tribe situation going on. You solo, you a noob.
Another American tourist in 2018 entered John Allen Cho, a 26-year-old missionary adventurer and, how do I put it, guy with a terrible plan. Because I guess he hired a fisherman to smuggle him to the island because he wanted... Enter John Allen Cho, a 26-year-old...
John Allen Cho. That's what it was. Bro had like, he has like 2 first names. John Allen Cho.
missionary adventurer and, how do I put it, a guy with a terrible plan. Because I guess he hired a fisherman to smuggle him to the island because he wanted to convert the Sentinelese to Christianity, which is a very bold move. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised the Jehovah's Witness hasn't tried this yet, but I guess that just goes to show you that some front lawns can't even be passed by a Jehovah's Witness. But this guy actually...
But I'm just gonna be real with y'all, my dudes. Even I'm religious, and I'm just gonna tell you right now, Jesus is not gonna stop an arrow or a bullet. You get me? Like, don't put yourself in a situation where you need Jesus to help you. You get me? Like, stop it.
She wrote in his diary, "My name is John. I love you, and Jesus loves you." And the Sentinelese were like, "Cool story. Here's an arrow." Apparently, even his Bible was hit with an arrow. And according to the people from his mission, this wasn't like John just got up and decided to do this on a whim. He tried to prepare for this.
Although, according to the head of the mission he was working for, John was significantly more prepared. All Chow's decisions, including his studies of sports science and training and working as a wilderness emergency medical technician, and classes he took in linguistics and cultural anthropology, were in preparation to share Jesus with the North Sentinelese.
Yeah, but, here's the thing, the North Sentinelese, and this is coming from somebody who is religious, they don't care about Jesus. They don't know who that is. They never met the guy. They don't, like, that's not nobody to them. So you have to understand, in their culture, if they see you coming up, they shoot you with an arrow. Now that's a little bit different than, you know, Christianity, where they don't shoot arrows at you when they meet you. But, just because you want to teach them your way of living life, doesn't mean that they are suddenly going to stop being who they are. So... like, yeah, you can throw books at them all you want, but they're not gonna stop the arrows. You get me?
He was very well prepared for this moment.
So he was as prepped for this as a person, I guess, could be, and still it ended very badly. Almost like this shouldn't be attempted no matter what you try to do. The actual breakdown of what happened to John happened over 3 days. Day 1, he paddled over in a kayak, carrying fish, gifts, and a Bible. When he got near the beach, the Sentinelese shot arrows at him, including one from a kid that nailed his waterproof Bible. And listen, if a child shoots an arrow through your scripture, that's probably your divine sign to turn around. But did Chow leave? No, of course not.
Y'all ever heard that one story where, I'll say it very quickly. Basically, there's a town gets flooded. There's one person stuck on his roof. He has no escape. A boat passes by, and the boat tells him, "Hey, you want to hop on the boat? We're gonna freaking get out of the town. Like, everything's flooded, you know? We can literally only stand on the roofs." The guy says, "Nah, you guys go on ahead, because, Jesus is gonna save me. God's gonna save me." So the boat goes off. Then a freaking cruise ship comes by, and the cruise ship is like, "Yo, like the freaking flood is so bad that we can't even freaking fly a freaking cruise ship, whatever the hell." And they're like, you want rescue? You want to we'll get you out of here, whatever." And the guy's like, "Nah, y'all guys go on ahead, even though it looks like entertaining. Wait, I'm good. Jesus gonna save me." Then a freaking helicopter comes by, and the freaking helicopter's like, "Hey, freaking get on the freaking thing, because we can like airlift you out of here." He's like, "Nah, I'm good. Jesus gonna save me." And then at the very end, the guy drowns, right? And then he's like in heaven, and he's like, "Jesus, you didn't save me." She's like, "I freaking sent you 2 boats and a freaking helicopter." You get what I'm saying? It's kind of one of those things where you just kind of like, you're like, oh. Like, I'm just saying, bro, if the first arrow hit the Bible, like, yeah, like, that's just Jesus being like, "That's your one chance, bro. You gotta get."
He tried again. This
You're not
time
gonna
he
get
wrote
a
in his
second
journal,
chance, bro.
"God, if you want me to be killed, so be it." Dude, if you believe in God, you can also argue that God gave you a brain to avoid this.
Yeah.
On day 3, the fisherman watched from a distance as the
I don't think he'd want you to go get murdered over this.
Sentinelese dragged his body across the sand and buried it. John Allen Cho was killed, just like nearly every person before him who tried to enter this island without permission. So, why all the secrecy? Why the arrows? Well, again, beyond protecting their culture, there's a very real risk. The Sentinelese have zero immunity to common diseases, and even a cold could wipe them out. So yes, going there could literally be fatal to them and to you. I mean, even a Diet Coke could kill them, but I don't know. The point is, none of us know. A random YouTuber like Mikalo for sure does it.
Honestly, based on like all the other previous gifts, there's a good chance that Coke is just gonna be buried in the sand. In the fish
No.
poop,
And at the end of the day, North Sentinel isn't a lost island. It's not a mystery to solve. It's a community that just wants to be left alone. And honestly, you should kind of respect that. Now, let's be real. If the first 5 arrows landing right next to you won't, maybe the 6th will. Now, Mikalo is currently detained in India and is due back in court on April 17th. But honestly, this was the best case scenario for something as stupid as this, because he didn't actually manage to make contact with them. He got arrested instead of dying in some horrific way, and he will likely get to enjoy the rest of his life without it ending with like 80 million arrows in himself. But guys, with live streams and cameras, we gotta chill. Whether you're in Japan or Korea, streaming in public in New York City, or just trying to go to an internationally restricted island, respect the boundaries. The Sentinelese, they don't want followers. They're not interested in your clout.
Bro, it's like you have the options of either going to Japan, going to Korea, South Korea, or the Sentinelese Island. Like, why is there no in-between? Why are these the places y'all decide to go to?
And they definitely don't want your can of Diet Coke.
Nobody tries to go start messing Russia or China,
driving
you know?
into a store to simply see what would happen like this guy did. So you can check out that video right here. And other than that, if you're new here, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace. Oh boy, what?
Amazing, Mike. Dudes, please go and
This
drop
YouTuber-
Atozy a like, a follow, all that freaking good stuff. Oh, and immediately we're gonna jump over to this. It's the whole Vitaly situation. I wanted to talk about this just because it's like one of those stories that I'm just like, freaking A. I still can't believe how many like times we've had to keep coming back to discuss the Sentinel Islands on this channel. Just freaking don't go there, bro. It's not that hard. Stay at home. Watch anime. Play video games. You don't gotta do all that. Pray. Thanks for hanging out. Like or dislike, comment, and subscribe, and become a Monodachi today! I live stream all day, Monday through Friday, so go say hi! That's all for now, Monos. Goodbye, and thanks for swinging by. Salut!